Namaste, friends and dear family. Thank you for joining us. Today's session, we are going to explore a little bit more deeply what is mantra? What is its practice? What intention do we put into it? And then refine our discussion even more as we explore the Shakti Bija mantras. So let's begin with a wonderful chant to one of the Mahavidyas, or one of the 10 wisdom goddesses of Tantric Yoga. Her name is Namaste. So, sitting up nice and straight, closing the eyes, bringing our hands into the Anjali Mudra. Take a few breaths simply to calm ourselves, center ourselves. Let's begin. Take a breath in. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Drivo Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. One more. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Vairo Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Open your eyes, exhale, and release. Looking at mantras. So where does this practice come from? We know that mantra is a very important technique when we practice dharana. Dharana is one of the 8 limbs of yoga from Ashtanga or classical yoga. So the last 3 limbs are dhyana, dharana, and samadhi. Dharana is where we have concentration. What is concentration? It's understanding that how we cognitize thoughts and emotions and how we process them in the mind is from one point to the next. And so stringing those points along in an uninterrupted stream of focus is concentration, or dharana. Mantra meditation, using mantra, whether it's bija sounds or longer mantras, is the primary technique of a tantric yoga practice. It is through mantra that tantrics connect with that divine energy. Now, remember, when we talk about divine energy within Tantra, we're talking about the Shiva Shakti principle. Shiva is pure consciousness. Shakti is the energy of manifestation of that pure consciousness. So they really cannot be divided or separated. They are just 2 sides of a coin. The divine energy in Tantra is feminine in nature. Thus, we call it Shakti, or it is the worship of the Mahavidyas, the 10 wisdom goddesses. The Shakti bija sounds, which are 1-syllable sounds from Sanskrit, carry the varied energy of the divine feminine. If that doesn't quite make sense to you yet, don't worry, we're going to get into it even more. So let's look at yogic techniques. As asana helps us to gain mastery over the body, pranayama helps us gain mastery over breath, mantra helps us to gain mastery over our mind. So what does that mean? That means that with a mantra practice, mantra meditation on the chakras, on the bija sounds, we're increasing our powers of focus. What happens when we do that? We start to experience more calm. We start to experience a quality of cohesion and integration within our mind. When we talk of mind, what are we talking about? We're talking about the process of thought and of cognization, of sensory input. So that integration of thoughts, emotions, experiences, that whole process in the mind starts to come down and be less agitated. These processes in our mind, as we are told through the sutras of Patanjali and other yogic literature, is a process of conditioning. So what is conditioning? Conditioning are the thought and emotional patterns that we hold within our mental field in our mind, right? So we can call the mental processes, thinking that goes on in our mind is all based on really patterns that we have developed in this lifetime. And if you believe in reincarnation and karma, it's an accumulation of our past lives also. Another way to look at conditioning is when we discuss mantras. They're not just words, they're actually divine sound and they're divine sound vibrations. And since most of us are not native Sanskrit speakers, actually, there's only one village, they say, in India that still maintains Sanskrit as a living language. Since Sanskrit is a second language to us, when we're learning Sanskrit, we are learning it with already established thought and emotional patterns. So when we learn a Sanskrit word, hum or hum or fat, we immediately make associations with a word and a meaning that we know from our native language. That is called a conditioned response. That conditioned response, when we intellectually make that connection between a word that we know, will also trigger an emotional response. Those are patterns. A yoga practice, a meditation practice, helps us to experience nirodha. Now, we've seen nirodha. If you have studied the sutras of Patanjali, you know that nirodha is the stilling, to make more still, to make more calm, those fluctuations in our brain patterns. But it also has an expanded definition. It's not only to still or to calm those thought patterns, but it's also, as we gain mastery over our meditation practice, it's also to build new patterns, which are no longer associated with accumulating karma. We break free from that pattern. So, in other words, what are we doing through Nirodha? We are redirecting our mental energies. It's just like to develop a new habit, they say you need to do something consecutively for 22 days to 30 days. It's the same thing in meditation, and you've probably seen it as you've gone through your chakra meditation through the last couple of months. It's become a habit. And as you've enjoyed that habit, you probably have noticed that you sink deeper and faster into a feeling of peace and tranquility as you go through your practice, much easier than you did 2 months ago. So what happened? You redirected your energies, your mental energies. You are deconditioning some of the patterns from this lifetime and from accumulated lifetimes. How do we redirect those energies? What are we talking about? We're talking about applying the gunas of sattva, raja, and tama to our practice as part of our intention. Sattvic energy, when we bring sattvic energy to our meditation, our chakra meditation practice, we are bringing an intention to experience calmness, to experience an integration, blending, and harmony within our actions, within the sound, and within the deeper feelings that we have inside. That helps to promote Nirodha. If we bring a rajasic energy to our meditation, it increases our feelings of attachment. Okay, what do I mean by this? Rajasic energy, very simply put, is movement, is an energy with movement and flow towards an object. There's a subject and an object. So we can have a rajasic quality to our practice. And that might be when we are first learning to write the Sanskrit letters, when we're first learning how to pronounce them correctly, when we're first learning how to draw the petals of each chakra, we might bring a rajasic energy to that practice as we're learning. because there's directed energy and a flow of energy. There may be a fiery quality to it because we're trying to learn something. So it's not that Rajasic guna is necessarily negative. It's just a type of quality of energy that we bring to our practice. By having that expectation of wanting to learn something, that is an attachment. Again, attachments are not bad in of themselves. They are bad when we allow those attachments to get in our way of our spiritual practice. Tamasic energy, the most easy way to think about tamasic energy is when we do our chakra meditation, where we're writing the Sanskrit letters, when we do it in a mechanical way. So we are no longer bringing a heartfelt energy to that practice. Then it can become tamasic. Tamasic energy can disperse our mental energies. Sort of, you can think of it like in a wasteful way. It's no longer bringing those mental energies towards an inner awareness, but it's just sort of letting them float around. Let's circle back and remember that the Sanskrit alphabet is an important part of a tantric practice in terms of energizing the principal qualities of each chakra. So we've discussed it before, but you understand lam, vam, ram, yum, hum, om. The bija sounds of those chakras have different qualities and directions, intensities of energy, as do the whole Sanskrit alphabet when we talk about the vowels or the consonants, whether they are Shiva vowels or Shakti consonants. They have different properties. And it's just becoming aware of this and what kind of guna that we consciously apply to that practice that helps us tread that path of spirituality and refining our own awareness. In addition to the gunas, understanding the gunas and understanding what kind of consciousness we bring to our practice, there's also an intention and an application of energy to our meditation, to our mantra meditation. One way to understand and to be able to make informed choices about that intention and that application of mantra is to understand something called the Purusharthas. This is a thought, philosophy, Indian philosophy. It says that there are four main goals in life. They are called the Purusharthas. They are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. When we understand these four goals and how they work within our life at different times and different experiences within our life, we can refine even more our chakra meditation. So let's look at that. Dharma. Again, if you have read the Gita, if you have studied the sutras of Patanjali, you've come across this word dharma. Dharma means what is your purpose in life? Now, from a spiritual perspective, everyone's purpose in life is self-realization, or the yoga union of our individual soul with that of the universal consciousness that is all around us. From a more worldly point of view, your dharma is what is your purpose in life? For some, it could be to be a teacher, an engineer, to be a mother, to be a wife, to be a sister, to be a plumber, to be a farmer. And even those goals may change on the age that you are in your life, right? But that is your dharma. Another goal within the Purusharthas is artha. Artha is realizing the goals or the objectives, we can say, to reach the goal of dharma. So how do you become a farmer? By acquiring the skills, the knowledge, and the resources that you need to fulfill your dharma of being a farmer. So you have the obligation, the right, the duty to pursue artha goals in order to realize your dharmic goal in life. Additionally, kama means that you have the right to find happiness and contentment as you strive to achieve artha and dharma. That you have the right to happiness, to emotional fulfillment. So this could be within yourself, personal relationships, relationships in the community, relationships within your society. And then the fourth is moksha. Moksha is another word for kaivalya, another word for self-realization, to feel that yoga between your soul and that of the universal soul, universal consciousness. So let's look at Purusharthas as we choose the intention and the guna that we apply now to our chakra meditation. When we talk about gunas, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, it's important to know that attachment, the feelings of attachment that you have, what am I trying to say? Attachment can be good because it helps us reach goals. But remember, in yoga, there's a paradox. We want to reach a goal simply to let it go so that we can move forward, and or simply to let it go so that we can simply, as my teacher says, allow the allowing to happen. Let's make it simple. The goal may be to hold your warrior two for 5 minutes in a sustained, correct alignment, sustained, correct muscle contraction, sustained, correct pranayama, sustained, correct mental focus. That could be your goal. But that goal is simply a stepping point to letting all that energy go to the side, because what you've done is you've now allowed the body and the mind and the breath to be in alignment so that your true self can shine through. You no longer have the obstacles of expectations and effort in your way because you've done all that work. You've done all that work, so now you can just be in the moment. And when you are in the moment, that's when your true consciousness shines through. So Rajasic energy can be very beneficial as long as we're not attached to the end goal. You want to move beyond the end goal. Same thing with tamasic. Sometimes tamasic energy can be very, very beneficial to us. That feeling of stability, of inertia, is actually another way to say be in the moment, right? So it's not that it's necessarily a negative guna. We use the rajasic energy, we use the tamasic energy to help us get to that level of consciousness where we experience sattvic energy, which is total harmony and integration. So thinking about mantra, thinking about the chakras and the different energies within those chakras, we can have specific goals of, let's say, the Vishuddhi chakra, and we are reciting the vowel sounds, 16 vowel sounds, which have a Shiva quality, a consciousness quality. In the beginning, I may have a rajasic energy that I'm bringing to it to learn it and to really seek what that means for me right now, what a Shiva consonant sounds, vibration, how they feel. I may go through a bit of a tamasic energy in a negative way when it becomes mechanical. I'm just writing and not really bringing any intention or conscious thought to my practice. It may be a beneficial tamasic energy when I just stay there and hold there in the beauty of those vibrations. And then the magic happens when you are so in the moment of your practice. It becomes sattvic. It transforms and becomes sattvic. You don't have to seek to make it sattvic. It's something that happens when we, as my teacher says, allow the allowing. Shakti bija mantras. So these are specific bija sounds, one-syllable sounds from the Sanskrit alphabets that embody the feminine qualities of Shakti energy. So, Om. You all know Om, and I'm going to get my pen. So let's look how to write Om. Let me go back one, sorry. Right? Om. I'm. Remember I'm from the Vishuddhi chakra? It's one of the vowels. So the vowel itself for I is this. When I put this kind of curly Q on top is the kind of an E sound, I'm. When I put the dot on top, that's the sound, so I'm. I'm is an important Shakti bija because it's sort of the feminine counterpoint of Om, but it has more direction. Remember, if Om is more of a Shiva or Atman Purusha quality, that is pure consciousness. But we're talking about Shakti. Shakti is the manifestation of that pure consciousness. So automatically that means there is more direction and manifestation and perhaps intensity in that direction of this vibration, I'm. So that gives it a feminine quality. Hreem, okay, so you want to do the H sound. Remember that the H sound is the Vishuddhi chakra bija sound. So you make the H, right? We need the E sound, the sound, but where's the R? This is R, right? That's the bija sound for for the Manipura chakra. So to denote the R here, we simply go like this and make a straight line. That's Hreem. All right, so I have the H sound plus R sound plus E sound plus Hreem. Hreem is the sound associated with the Anahata chakra. It's their spiritual center. It has the feminine Shakti qualities of nurturing and compassion. Shreem. Let's look at Shreem. So we need to make an S. Now remember there's 3 different S's. S sounds in Sanskrit. This is the S hissing sound, not the sh sound. So Shreem. So an S looks like this. So to make this sound, hang on, sorry, I want to check, make sure that I do it right. It has the R on it. So sorry, I'm not used to doing this one, so I also need to look. All right, so here I've made part of the S sound, put the R sound, and here's the eem sound. Let's do it again. Circle up, round, down. I'm going to connect this. All right, so you see part of this in here, and then the E and the sound. And here's the R sound. All right, let's go to the next one. Cream. Cream is the bija of Kali, goddess Kali. So we do the K. Now we know that K looks like this, right? So remember, to get the R sound, we just put a line down. So cream, line down, E sound, sound, cream. Let's do it again. K sound, R sound, E sound, sound. Kleem, another very powerful bija mantra. K. Now L, you remember from Lum, looks like that, right? So what do? Down here we just put the L sound. Then I need to add the im sound and the sound. Again, K sound, L sound, E sound, Hum. Remember in the Namaste mantra? Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Vajro Chaniye Hum Fat Swaha Hum. Hum is a powerful directional bija mantra. All right, H. Hum. Clean. H. Now let's get the L sound. E. So this down here is the L sound. Single one is the U sound. Two more. Stream. Stream is interesting because we have the STR that we need to get in. So remember that S, in this case, is this one. R. And the T sound, let me see which T, because there's 3 different T's, is this alphabet. So how do we put them all together? Okay, let's start with the S sound. Correct? We start there. Then we have the T sound. So I'm not very neat with this. And then we have the sound, the R sound. So we go from here to here, and the im. I'm going to do it again and make it a little neater if I can. We have the S sound, followed by the T sound. I'm going to go all the way up, followed by the R sound, followed by the im, and here we have sound. Stream. Last one is treem. Treem is a little bit different because there's a special letter. These are called the combined letters in Sanskrit, which we have not gone through yet in the alphabet. The TR letter is this. So to do treem, you make the tr sound, but the e now, this vertical line is behind us. And then that's treem, right? So the tr sound, incorporate the im before it, and then That's how we write the Shakti Bija sounds. Let's really take this apart now and look at the individual letters. And the way that I am dissecting stream is the way that you can look at all the chakra bija sounds, those combinations. You can start dissecting all the different sound vibrations to come to a whole unified meaning for that vibration. So stream as a Shakti bija sound is the bija of peace. S, sa That consonant sa sound, well, actually it's a syllabate, denotes stability and peace. The T sound, that is a consonant that denotes extension, lengthening, expansion. Okay, what expansion of what? What are we talking about? Energies. All right. So we have the S energy for the S sound to denote a more peace, calm energy. The T sound now is a directional energy to take that stability and peace, extend, expand it. The E that we hear in it, stream, the E sound is one of the prime Shakti energy sounds of pure consciousness and of peace. Shanti, 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 Shanti. E, it ends with an E sound to denote peace, emergence, and yoga from a feminine point of view. The sound, as we've talked about in the very beginning of this workshop, internalizes, intensifies the inner awareness, that inner vibration. Further, we can see that the root stem of stream is stri. Stri in Sanskrit stands for a woman. That's a word for a woman. So when we think of woman, the energy of woman, the energy of feminine energy, of Shakti, of Prakriti, is the energy to give birth, to nourish, to create, to protect, and to guide. When we think about the application of stream, what are we doing? We're saying, okay, let's apply that energy of direction, expansion, motivation, and nourishment to whatever chakra or whatever deity that we are directing our mental focus towards. Maybe this is more easier to understand. Stream is also one of the bija mantras of Tara, the tantric Tara. There's a tantric Tara, a Vedic Tara, and a Buddhist and Tibetan Tara, I think, and they're not the same goddess. So we're talking about the tantric goddess Tara, who is one of the Mahavidyas. She is the goddess of divine speech, which means divine vibration. She helps us to cross over our difficulties, but also to cross over from Rajasic and Tamasic gunas into a sattvic quality of our mantra meditation. So stream is a bija mantra we can use to direct these qualities of feminine energy towards maybe the Manipura chakra, or towards the Anahata or the Muladhara chakra. We can add stream to our mantra chakra meditation practice. You could say Om Stream Lam, Om Stream Lam. So what am I doing when I do that? Okay, we know that Lam, the Muladhara chakra, there's an energy of inertia, stability, peace, calm. The Lord Nataraj, the Lord of dance, can be focused here at the Muladhara chakra, being in the moment, being in this blissful state. So if I want to bring or direct field of energy, a quality of energy that holds stream or Shakti energy into the Muladhara chakra, I will say stream. When I do that, what am I doing? I'm adding to that energy field the energy of peace, expansion, integration, direction, pure consciousness, contentment. So you can add, you can intensify, you can direct the quality of energy that each chakra has, and even each petal of each chakra, by adding a bija mantra. So I'm going to end it here. And perhaps next month we can have a discussion of some of these concepts, especially if they're new for you. And if you have any questions about how to apply the Shakti Bija mantras to your chakra meditation that you're already experiencing, just shoot me a little email and I'd be happy to discuss that with you and share it with you. So thank you very much. Namaste, everyone. Shall we finish with the Namaste mantra? Take a breath in. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Vibro Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Vibro Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Hrim Aim Vajro Vibro Chaniye Hum Hum Fat Swaha. Namaste. Thank you, everyone, and I hope to see you next month.